Let's talk about what's going on at Twitchcon. So I don't know if you guys saw this. We're gonna talk about this. This is a bit of a controversial piece of news in the gaming industry. If you guys did not see the announcement, Twitch tweeted out saying, "We've heard from many of you that you want a safer TwitchCon, so we're updating our policy. Masks will be required indoors, as well as either proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test. Let's make the ultimate squad up safe and accessible for everyone." And they provide a link. I'm kind of iffy on this decision, right? Like, we're at the point now through COVID where like we don't have masks even at like airports anymore, which, you know, people have always kind of touted this being one of the most unsafe places to be when COVID is hot and going viral. But I kind of get Twitch's decision here. I think they're basing this off of the fact that when they did TwitchCon in Amsterdam, they had a lot of COVID cases come out of that. And so they're just trying to protect themselves here and the event more safe and inclusive, right? Which I totally get. I like, regardless of how you feel about masks, I think masks are annoying. I prefer not to wear a mask, right? When I go on an airplane, I don't wear a mask. If Twitch is trying to do this to make a select group of people feel safer and more inclusive, right? I get that. Although you could also make the argument that those people shouldn't even be going to an event like this if there's COVID spread or if they're worried about getting COVID. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, you go to read the replies and there's a lot of interesting replies. Swagg responds L, gets ratioed by saying cry about it, Snowflake. greekgod replies L. We saw that coming though. That's to be expected. Nick Mercs responded L with 8,600 likes. Frosty responds, you guys have zero backbone, LMFAO. Rambu replies, it says required mask. That's going to be a tough one with 34,000 likes. Did he ratio? Okay, no, he didn't. Young Calc, if you're immunocompromised, you probably shouldn't go to a massive convention with tens of thousands of people. That's just me though. The masks are fine though. I don't really care. I think where people started to take a lot of issue is there's big name creators that are coming out pushing that whole narrative of like, oh, you wear a mask, you fucking pussy, right? That whole thing that we've been dealing with for like the last 2 years. And I get it, trust me. Wearing a mask is annoying. I would prefer not to wear a mask. I just don't see it as like a huge deal. I think because it's become so politicized and it's such a hot topic in our culture, people feel really polarized on it. But I think like at the end of the day, it's not really a huge deal, right? Like at the end of the day, where I stand is if it makes somebody else feel more comfortable that I'm wearing a mask, I'll wear a mask. Not a huge inhibitor to me, but if that makes somebody else feel better, it's really not a big deal. But there's people out there who really feel the need to stand their ground and die on the hill that is masks aren't effective, masks don't work, this is stupid. And Twitch is run by a bunch of leftist liberals. And if you wear a mask, then you're a pussy, right? All that narrative. And I think that's where like you can interpret these negative messages in like one of two ways, right? You can interpret them as just like people being annoyed that Twitch is implementing a mask mandate when there doesn't seem to be a mask mandate implemented in the United States anywhere, right? Like the CDC isn't enforcing masks anywhere. You're not required to wear a mask on a plane. You're not required to wear a mask when you go out to stores anymore. So some people might see this as just like, Twitch, this is stupid that, you know, you're folding to a small group of people like this. And I somewhat get that argument. But where I get stuck and what I get annoyed with is it seems like these people are responding. It's all too much of a politically charged topic. And when you scroll through the replies, you'll see some people that are like, why are you bringing politics into this? It's all politics. That's unfortunately where we are with this topic. And it's weird. It's another highlight as to how terrible human beings are at resolving conflict and how terrible we are at being empathetic and compassionate over the internet. Thanks, Twitch. I didn't feel safe at the last one, but now I'll feel even more comfortable when I come. This is from Gideon. I feel like he's trolling. I feel like that's not real. Arab responds, LMFAO, this can't be real. Y'all fold so fast. And I'm like, actually interested to see the fact that a lot of the responses these guys are getting more likes. When I was checking out this thread earlier, it wasn't like that. Most of these guys were not getting ratioed. Please also require proof of showering in the last week and use of deodorant. This is a funny, sort of neutral comment to take, right? You're not really exposing how you feel about it. Dakota's responding with this meme, will not be attending. And then what's even weirder though is if you guys saw Nick Mercs, not only did he respond with L, right? But then he also quote tweeted and said, the M-Fam and I will be doing our own thing in San Diego. It'll be popping all weekend. I already spent over $300,000 with more to come. No mask requirements, no vaccine requirements at our events. Do you, and we'll see you there. I think the only issue that I have with this post, and again, people will interpret this in any way you want. What he said in the message, there's nothing wrong in the message, right? He's going to be throwing his own event, his own party that won't require any mask and won't have any vaccine requirements. And what I don't like about that though is that it's definitely catering towards, and again, we're generalizing and we're making assumptions, a group of people that probably isn't vaccinated, that wouldn't wear a mask, that probably would be less careful about their spread of an illness, right? And you got monkeypox growing up. I don't know. So people are going to have different risk thresholds. They're going to have different opinions about whether or not they think it's actually a big deal. I just don't really think it's a big deal. Where I fall is it's like, if me wearing a mask makes someone else feel more comfortable, then I will wear a mask. You're only going to be required to wear a mask indoors. You won't be required to wear one outdoors when you're standing in line or at any outdoor events at Twitchcon, but when you're indoors, they'll ask you to wear a mask. What I'm not looking forward to is that for the people who go, whoever's in charge, you're going to have, security or, people who are in charge of the event, staff, right? They're going to have to be walking around, and they're going to have to be reminding people who probably think they're going to be funny. There's probably going to be some guy that's probably going to try to go to the event not wearing a mask. Just for content, to see how long they can be there for. And then you're going to have the people that'll make comments like, well, it's a gamer convention, so everybody who's going isn't going to shower or use deodorant anyways. So like, why does it matter? I think what just bothers me about all this is it's the politically charged stuff. That's what I'm having trouble separating. And maybe I'm reaching too far into it. Maybe that's not actually what these guys are saying, but it's just been such a politically charged topic for so long that it's hard for me not to read these L's as a political statement rather than them just being upset that they have to wear a mask. I see it as more so like, L, you liberal leftist weakling pussies, rather than L, this is annoying that I have to wear a mask, right? I interpret the former. So anyways, I don't know what you guys think about this. Again, I'm pretty, sort of indifferent on it. If somebody wants me to wear a mask, I'll wear a mask. I don't really carry a mask around on me anymore. But if I was out in public and having a conversation with somebody and I had a mask in my pocket and they were like, and I was sitting down at the table with them and they were like, hey, would you mind just like wearing a mask? Just wear a mask. I don't know. I think and I know that's not a new stance, right? It's not really a tough stance either. It's dumb for me to sit here and try to like pat myself in the back, like look at me, like it's a very neutral stance. And I think I think there's something interesting and weird too about these guys being like notable content creators and notable Twitch creators makes these responses a little bit more weird. I'm not saying they don't, they shouldn't be criticizing the platform or they shouldn't be saying something they disagree with, but it's just, Henry, I have to disagree with you on this one. That's totally fine. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. I think we're still at a point in our culture wars where it's hard for people to, you can't read these replies and not immediately think these are guys who are replying like this because they want to see like, they want to come off like tough bro, no, you know what I mean? Like all that shit. I see it as don't interact with anyone at risk, so I don't feel the need to mask up. I'm vaccinated though. If I did interact with anyone at risk, I would wear a mask though, obviously. I don't know, man. It's just weird times we live in. I think the biggest thing to take away from this is that people are just really bad with conflict resolution. People really don't like being told what to do, especially content creators, especially people who do content full time, who don't have a boss, who don't have like somebody hanging over them, over their shoulder, giving them tasks to do, giving them like work, get annoyed when they have to be told, there's definitely an ego element that goes into this too, where it's like, I don't want to seem like a bitch, so I'm going to reply like this. So I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot that goes on in my head, but let me know what you guys think about this. There's people that want refunds in their tickets too. So can I get a refund on my tickets that I've already purchased, right? And yeah, you can get a refund by following that link. That's all I got to say. Let me know what you guys think.